Hi, everyone. Okay. I think I started this in a unlisted stream. Like, so I'm like sitting there talking to myself. So I ended that like, let's start again because something's not right here. All right. So we are here. And today's topic is about your favorite film that depicts the construct, that shows the construct. I think we talked about the construct last week. And I wanted to talk about this because last week, say hi if you're here. Thanks. Truman Show right off the bat. Great. Last week, somebody mentioned the Truman Show and um, said, "Oh, have you done a decode on it?" And I have not. I might do one eventually when I have time. But the reason is most people have broken that movie down. And so it's been kind of done to death. However, I might do it. And I wanted to talk about this because obviously, like the Truman Show is reflective of our reality and the construct in which we live. And it's a brilliant show, brilliant movie for that. And I watched a video recently from the perspective of therapists, great channel, by the way. They break down movies from a therapeutic perspective, and it's called cinema therapy. But they didn't see the Truman Show as a reflection of our reality, and nobody in the comments saw it either, which is fascinating to me because, you and I, we see these movies and we recognize what it is. We think it's pretty obvious because we know what we're looking at. But to most people, they're blind to it. They don't even see it. So it's fascinating to me. I like to be able to see where people are at. Like, where are mainstreamers? What do they still see? Because because to me it's just obvious, and I need that sort of I guess reality check to see where other people are at. And so it's very fascinating to see this, to see where others are blind to the nature of our reality being reflected in these films. And hi, Joyful. Hello. So glad you're here. So yeah, if you're here, say hi and cast your vote. I've got 4 films in the poll. So you can pick one out of those 4. And if yours is not on that list, then please drop it in the chat. The 4 I have are Westworld, which could be the film or the TV show, Truman Show, Don't Worry, Darling, and Inception. And so far, we've got 2 votes for the Truman Show and 1 for Inception. I've seen the cinema therapy guys talk about Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I saw that. I saw them talk about Bridget Jones, which was a remake of Pride and Prejudice, and they hated it. They were pointing out all the red flags, basically. So, it was a good discussion point, I thought. You may not agree with what their take was on the film, but I still thought it was well presented and an interesting perspective. But yeah, they're a really good channel. I love Groundhog Day. That's another good one. Groundhog Day is a great film that depicts the nature of our reality for sure. Yeah. I mean, goodness, I could fill the poll with about 100 different films. So yeah, if you don't see your film in the poll, pick one of the 4 and then drop yours in the chat. But yeah, like my favorite is Don't Worry, Darling. That's my favorite. And the reason for that is because it's not just showing the true nature of reality through the simulation in which they reside, but it's also showing all the hidden layers. So it's more than just one layer, which I feel the Truman Show is a little bit more flat. Don't Worry, Darling is multidimensional, and that's why I love it. And Inception is very multidimensional as well. And I like the dream aspect of Inception. I like how they depict the masculine and feminine and how they come together to create this reality, and the dreamlike nature, the dream within dream, and then the path to exit and that sort of thing is all in that movie. It is a really good movie for that. And then Westworld. Westworld is one of my favorite TV shows that shows the nature of this reality. Um, Westworld is like a retelling of the Sumerian creation myths as well as the biblical creation myth and the Gnostic texts. But they're all the same. All the creation myths are all the same. So, and that's why, because Westworld is pretty much telling you what that is. Have I seen Pleasantville? I have, and I want to take another look at it. I've got a project in line that's going to involve Pleasantville, but yeah, I just had a look at Pleasantville recently, just a clip of it, and I want to take a closer look at that because there's a lot in that film too, and I think a lot of it has to do with like being sucked into the TV, which is fascinating to me because a lot of these shows tell us we've been sucked into a TV or a movie. So yeah, I like those. But so far the votes are split between Truman Show and Inception, with Truman Show a little bit more ahead. But yeah, what do you like about Pleasantville or Groundhog Day? So Groundhog Day, obviously what I like about that, it shows a time loop. The time loop and basically reincarnation, and how you're going through the cycle of the mundane, and how you're going to perpetuate this cycle of the mundane until you learn what you came here to learn. And you have to learn about unconditional love. So that was interesting. And briefly, while we're on the subject, I know a lot of people have difficulty with the idea of unconditional love because they think that it means that you are with a partner and regardless of their behavior, and you're supposed to tolerate all of their bizarre behavior, abuse, whatever. It's not what unconditional love means. You love unconditionally, but you don't tolerate poor behavior, and you don't tolerate people abusing you or anything. So that's not what it's about. So you want to have unconditional love for yourself. You love the other person because you love them, not because of what they bring to the table, not because of how much money they make, not because of the way they treat you or anything like that. You love the person because you love the person. Whether they're in your life or not, whether they treat you well or not, you can still love that person, but your love isn't conditional on physical things or possessions or how they look or the way they treat you, the way they make you feel. Those are all conditions. You only love that person as long as they provide you with that thing. No, you love them and you don't need them to provide you with anything. You just love them. That's what unconditional love is. So that was, this is a huge problem that's going on in the world right now with this separation. The masculine and feminine are being separated with this big divide of you're to blame, no, you're to blame, because everything is conditional. Everything is, well, I will only love you as long as you provide me with the things that I agreed to when we got married or when we got together. And that is what starts to erode the quality of your relationship and cause you to fall apart. And that's why we have this problem right now. It needs to happen. But Pleasantville also talks about the television. Let's go back to Groundhog Day. Joyful's left a comment. Groundhog Day is one of my favorite movies. He's so superficial and disconnected in the beginning of love. The love story is more about his learning to love himself and every person in the town as well as life, even though he thought it was about getting the girl. Yeah, because he becomes love. So in the beginning of the movie, he doesn't love anything. He doesn't love his job. He doesn't love Punxsutawney. He doesn't love what he's doing. He doesn't love the people he works with. He doesn't respect anybody. And he needs to learn to love himself, but also love the people around him, the town, life, and the girl. Because he felt like he was entitled to the girl. And he didn't even really love her when he was trying to pursue her. He just thought she was good looking. And so he didn't even know what love was. So he had to go through this whole experience to find himself and to love himself and really get to know these people, which is why he was forced to relive every day in the same town, which he hated. I think I've frozen. There it is. So he was forced to live the same day over and over again in a town that he hated, a day that he hated, with people he hated. And he's like, well, there was a day that was wonderful, was on the beach with all this beautiful women. And why couldn't I have that day again and again and again? Well, the point is not that you get the same beautiful, perfect day all over again. It's that you get the imperfect day over and over again. And this is the same thing as like the 911 trauma center. Here we're experiencing the 911 trauma center, and people get angry, and rightfully so, that we live in this world full of violence and hatred and animosity and negativity. But there's also the opposite. So if you focus on merely all the negative stuff, that's going to be the bulk of your experience, because you're not even paying attention to the positive stuff. So that's where Phil went from focusing on all of the things that he hated, and he was miserable and grouchy, and then he moved into kind of faking it and pretending, because he was trying to manipulate the situation, trying to get her to love him by memorizing things about her. But then when he started to cultivate himself by playing piano and reading poetry and understanding people, getting to know people, connecting with people, then he really started to cultivate more depth to himself and more understanding for other people. And as a result, was able to connect with her in a genuine way, because now he understood and appreciated like 20th century French poetry. He scoffed at, I think it was 20th, maybe it was something else. But anyway, he scoffed at it at first and said, what a waste of time. And this is the sort of reaction that we have in this left brain world, where that French poetry is meaningless and pointless, but not to her. To her, it wasn't. So again, we're looking at also the merging of the masculine with the feminine, in that she was more focused on poetry and beauty, and he was focused on, let's just get this done so we can get out of here and go home, and I can go and have a good time on the town at night and not have to hang out with you people anymore. So it was all about action and masculine and doing, and her side is more about being and loving and absorbing and experiencing. So we had that discussion today in the membership, which was interesting. And yeah, he gets the girl once he becomes love. He finds authenticity for himself as well as in others. Yeah, because he's exploring himself more. He's getting to know the town more. He's finding the love in the town and in himself through himself, as opposed to looking at the town and seeing all the stuff that he hates. Then he's like, at the end of the movie, let's live here. So now he wants to live there. So he's embraced his situation, and the clock started moving again, because he was now able to see that everything he needed was right where he was. So he doesn't need to go anywhere else. And you can make a home wherever you are, because home is where the heart is. So, what are your thoughts on Pleasantville? Oh, we have a vote now for Westworld. That's awesome. Truman Show and Inception. So we got 8 votes. Still nobody for Don't Worry, Darling. I'd love to hear from people who are voting why they picked these movies or if they have other movies that they like. But yeah, so what I love about Westworld is it also shows the time loop. It shows the loop of reincarnation and regeneration, but also like new worlds, new realities, even though it's still repeating the same story over and over again. I really like that about that show. And so the Truman Show is really powerful too. I love the use of color to show authenticity in the black and white world of conformity. Yeah, in Pleasantville, yeah, they did a really good job of that. Subtle Bomb. I picked Westworld because there's so much stuff in there. There is, like what? I would love to hear what you're focused on. So like for Westworld, I have checked out Dark City. I don't think I have actually finished it. I think I've tried watching it a few times, but I don't think I actually finished it. But yeah, I'd like to hear more about it. Why you picked that one as your favorite? I would love to hear it. So yeah, like let's go back to Westworld since you brought it up. So yeah, Westworld, I like it because like the first season is very violent. I mean, it's violent throughout the whole series. However, I think the most violent is the first season, but then you understand why it exists and the purpose of it. And the creators of it, it's like they created the world so that humans have a place to go to live out their sort of fantasies that they can't do in reality. So violence and all sorts of heinous things, which taps into the idea that we are born into sin. And so this world being the 911 trauma center, there's a lot of things that people do here, say here, act out here that are based on the lower nature, the violence, the greed, the abuse, the horrendous things, the ugly side of humanity. And so in a sense, like they're showing how this theme park is a contained environment in which people can act out scenarios in a safe way where they don't get hurt permanently. At least they're not supposed to. And it seems real because you're interacting with these robots that look like people. And but then something goes wrong because those robots start to rebel. And every season, the same thing happens. So I find the story in Westworld is very telling and it's very powerful. Excuse me, I'm going to get my water. Even the NPC pretending they are not NPC. NPC pretending they're not NPC. Pretending they're not NPC or pretending they are NPC? Oh, you mean the NPCs believing that they're human or pretending to be human? It's been a long time since I watched Westworld. I gotta watch it again. Dark City is also a good one. Also, the controlled opposition that tricks the androids. Are we talking about the movie or the TV show? Because they're slightly different, aren't they? Not much, but slightly. But yeah, like the movie from the 70s is interesting. The man in black talking about being neurodivergent was interesting. Coco. Yeah. So what do you like about Dark City? Okay, TV show. So the Truman Show, let's go talk about that for a second. So the Truman Show is this sort of self-contained bubble that's projected on television and controlled by the man in the moon, who oddly enough was also in Westworld as the Man in Black. And and he is the creator, and he has control over the entire story and the entire system. And he treats him like he's a son, like he raised him, but at the same time, he's a puppet. And Truman Truman wakes up and wants to leave. So, I mean, that's kind of the same thing as like when we wake up, our first thing is, well, this place isn't real. I want to go where it's real. I want to leave because this is not my home. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to live in a place where everybody is fake and they're lying to me. They're pretending to be something they're not. And I mean, why would you? Why would you want to live in a place where everybody's lying to you and orchestrating and controlling your reality? You don't want to do that. And so the genius of it is like the showing the dome, and that it's an enclosed system, and that it's projected onto a television screen, that people are watching, and that they're rooting for you. And like, even though they want to watch the show, they've been watching it as long as he's existed, they want it to finish. They want it to have some kind of conclusion, so they are rooting for him to escape. And the same is true for us. So once you wake up, all the people around you, they still act like the NPC actor program that they're supposed to, and try to gaslight you into believing that this reality is real and that you can't get out, you can't go anywhere. And they use fear and lies and gaslighting to control you, to keep you contained. And it's your job to go against the fear and trust your inner guidance to believe that you can have the life that you deserve, so you can exit. And and I love the scene where Truman is driving in his car and he hears the radio talking about him as he's doing the things that he's doing. I mean, it's brilliant how they show that, which was also something that they showed you regularly in the TV series Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. They showed it through the television instead of the radio, or sometimes the radio. But they're showing that frequency coming through, the frequency of the other world coming through to communicate with Truman, to say this is what's happening and this isn't actually like real. No one would want to watch it anymore either if Truman knew. Of course not. Yeah, joyful. I mean, if you the whole the whole point of our TV show that we are in is that we wake up and exit. And this is the climax of the movie. The most exciting part is watching Truman wake up and exit. The movie starts there for a reason, because the rest of the time it's not all that interesting. We get a glimpse into what happened before. But if we watched that movie before Truman woke up, I'm sure we would be able to find stories here and there. But the main focus of the story that's most interesting is the moment he wakes up from his false reality and finds his way home, because that's the most intense. That's the most dramatic. It's the most at stake. So That's the most important part of his whole story, his whole life. So if you're new here and you're just joining, say hi, let me know you're here. Take part in the poll. What's your favorite movie that has the construct in it, that depicts the construct? And then if out of those four you pick one, but you have another one, drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear it. And tell me what you like about it too. Seidelbaum, the guy in the moon was also the conductor in that train movie. I forgot the name. Yeah. I really like that actor. He's great. Coco, now that I think about it, The Matrix, The Adjustment Bureau, Source Code, they all have Men in Black. Yeah. Good point. Harry Christie, hello. Island 2014. Yes. I think I know which movie you're talking about. Is that the one with Scarlett Johansson and what's his name? Bradley Cooper? Ed Harris, yeah. Yeah, is that the Island film you're talking about? Seidelbaum, then rewatch TV shows and movies now. Sometimes when you rewatch, sometimes my jaw drops because I know a lot of stuff I didn't know way back then. Yeah, initiated level stuff. Well, exactly. Now that your perception has changed, now you can see the true story behind the story, and everything is different. So, I mean, there's layers to this stuff. And once you see those layers, you see your reality completely differently. True man is the everyman. He is indeed, yeah. He's the man with the potential to rise. Hello, Mark C. Truman shows we are all actors. The script gives us so many roles to play. Then we choose the role. Doing that assures the movie will be played out. Indeed, indeed. We are actors in our own lives, in our own stories. We are also everything else. Jack Marley, the memory implants, the mind wipes, the rearranging of families, the clock that stops and starts and reset, the implant of Shell Beach. Interesting movie. You're talking about Dark City, yeah. Yeah, like I've watched part of it. I don't think I've made it through the whole film. I'm not sure. I might have because I remember the beach scene at the end. 2009 TV show called The Prisoner, which for me was my favorite Truman Show TV. 2009 Prisoner. I'm not familiar with that one. Sounds interesting. Thanks for joining in, Mark C. So yeah. Still nobody's voted for Don't Worry, Darling. Come on. So yeah, like Inception. I like Inception because in the video that I made in 2020, Story of Your Life, I blended Inception with the Truman Show because they naturally fit well together. Like the moment when Ariadne says to Cobb, so what happens when you start messing with the physics of it? And then Truman starts messing with the physics of it. He starts starting to take command, telling the bus driver to stop and starting to show his power. And what I love about Inception is the structure, the dream worlds. Not like I like all the special effects and everything, but to me it's like the layers of going into the depths of the dreams and the dream worlds and how it works and explaining the function of it, like how they create these worlds and how they function. That was way more interesting to me. And the way they fold time and space, that was fascinating. But yeah, like the dream worlds and the layers of the dream and going down to the lower levels of the dream, the subconscious, that That was really powerful. Joyful, I confess I have not seen What? You have not seen it? Coco, in the show The Prisoner, the main character remembers a beach that isn't there. They're stuck in a desert town. A beach that isn't there. That's kind of like the whole Fiji story in Truman Show, where he's trying to get to Fiji, but he's not allowed to. It's almost like it doesn't exist. Shell Beach in Dark City, if I recall correctly, wasn't that like a boundary as well that you can't go past? Almost like a fake beach. And it's kind of like in Free Guy, where he gets to the beach and you can't go past that barrier. So he has to go across the bridge to jump to the center island. And then there's what's the other one? And Don't Worry, Darling, there's a boundary. You're not supposed to go outside the confines of the town. But she went into the desert. Again, desert, beach, sand. And then she found the headquarters. And then, what was the other one? Wasn't there what was the other one we were just talking about? So like Truman Show, he wasn't supposed to go in the water, took the boat, and then found the boundary at the edge of the water. So it's like the water, the beach, the desert is the boundary you're not allowed to go past. A beach often represents the crossing between two worlds, sea and land. Yeah. What about the older TV show Under the Dome? Yeah, it's a good one. I just saw that not long ago. Under the Dome basically isolated and captured a small portion of the town under this dome barrier, energetic barrier. Isn't it a Stephen King show, I think? And the people within the dome had to confront aspects of themselves, the darker aspects of themselves, and they tried to get out of the dome physically, but they couldn't, and so they had to go through these trials. I forget how they got out. Was it like a sacrifice, or like in terms of, not like physical sacrifice, but like a sacrifice of letting go of something that they were holding on to in terms of like ego or something. And doing something for the greater good, for the community, for somebody else. It was Stephen King. The Prisoner is a good old one too. Yeah, somebody mentioned The Prisoner. But yeah, so you got 2 votes for The Prisoner. So, and I haven't seen this show, but since you mentioned The Prisoner, I forget the name of it now, but anyway, there's like a TV show about these guys stuck in jail. Isn't the movie Contact end on a beach? The movie Zero Theorem ends on a beach as well. Even Evangelion. Contact. I've seen Contact. I don't remember how it ends. But that's some good points. I haven't seen the others. Excuse me. They Live. It was a documentary. Rowdy Piper said it. Insane Herbie. Yeah. Yeah, like They Live. I don't know. I should maybe talk about They Live, because the way most people interpret They Live is that we're in a world full of these like dead entities, and I used to call them dead entities, so I get it. And those are like the elite or the people in the know who are controlling everything. And so yeah, like it is a documentary, but there's another layer to it. So I don't know, maybe I should talk about that at some point too. They Live is my favorite of all time. I have got that one. We've got one that can see. Yeah. Yeah. I think like They Live is a rite of passage for anybody in the truth community. If you haven't seen it, you kind of need to. Um, what is the saying? I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Yeah, but like the famous scene for me with They Live is what I love about it is when he puts the glasses on and he can see the the programming behind the commercials, and he can see the people who are dead entities who basically leech off of you, suck your energy. So I like that. That to me was like uh just beautiful. It's kind of similar as well to Free Guy. I love Free Guy. Free Guy is another movie that is very good at portraying the construct, and also up there with Westworld in terms of story structure. And instead of robots, you've got computer NPCs. And instead of people going to a physical theme park, you've got people playing online. It's the same thing. So, they're showing us that there are people here who are playing in this reality, who are real people, and then you're surrounded by a lot of NPCs who serve the construct. And so if you look at They Live in terms of the dead entities serving the construct, you can see it that way too. I can't believe nobody picked Don't Worry, Darling. I don't I understand, I guess. Like the other movies are kind of bigger, but to me, Don't Worry, Darling is by far my favorite film. But I get it. Um, Gilligan's Island, Green Acres, and Others being a Purgatory story. Oh, that's great. I love that you're bringing up those movies. Yeah, TV shows. I used to love watching those. Gilligan's Island and Green Acres. Um, Gilligan's Island would actually be really interesting to decode, because you got some very distinct characters on that island. You got the captain and skipper and the professor. It's almost like a game of Clue. And you got Marianne and Ginger. So, and Marianne and Ginger, very different types of girls. Never seen that movie. Oh, which movie was that? Don't Worry, Darling. Insane Irby. Plus, on They Live, baddies are using the TV to do their bad work in mind programming, television programming. Yeah, and they're broadcasting through a frequency. And yeah, so yeah, the programming is like mind control, just like the commercials and the advertising is mind control. And but like from my perspective, if you look deeper, it is telling you the truth. So there's that duality there, that paradox. Um the castaways or the archetypes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember how many there were. How many people were on that island? But definitely, yeah, that would be a really good one to look at too. It was kind of silly, but it's kind of like the movie Lost or the TV show Lost. Like that's another show, like Manifest, getting put on an island. So like the island or the island, the Truman Show is under a dome. It's like an eye, and he's in a self-contained land world, which is also an island. And so all of these um, self-contained environments, they're either domed or capped or contained or isolated by water, like an island, or even like a sort of like a remote um, playland, like the theme park, or even a virtual reality, like Don't Worry, Darling, or Free Guy. And basically, like, no matter how you describe it, they're all saying the same thing. The Castaways. Well, what about, like, speaking of Castaways, um, the movie Castaway, TV show Under the Dome is like the show From, or the show Lost. What's the show From? I've not heard of that. Yeah, Lost is one. Manifest. I love Manifest. Manifest is a really powerful TV show that I mean, since we're talking about TV shows, film, TV show, whatever. But yeah, like Manifest is really a great show for showing the nature of this reality and the construct. Lost had absolute worst endings of all time. I did not see all of Lost. I lost interest partway through. It started to get bizarre. But yeah, I heard that about that show. What was the ending anyway? You don't want to ruin it, but I have a feeling just from things that I have seen before, other TV shows or movies where people complain about the ending. Like Don't Worry, Darling, people complained about the movie, and they complain about the ending because it's kind of ambiguous. But when you are looking at it through an esoteric lens, it's not. It's perfect. What was the other movie recently that people complained about? Um, Another movie that I looked at, I mean, this isn't about the construct though, was Materialists. I watched that recently and people complained about that too. And I feel like um, that there's more to it than meets the eye. So I kind of wanted to look at that one. From starts off good, but nothing much is happening now. Oh, is that a recent show that's just active at the moment? Lost really meandered. Yeah. What about Supernatural? I mean, Supernatural is more about the good versus evil. It's not really about the construct itself. But this is why I wanted to focus more on the actual construct of like the simulation or dream or movie or video game or however you choose to explain it. It's all the same thing. Term is very popular. It's like Severance in popularity, not as good though. Oh, okay. Severance is also a good show um to show the construct in a different way. It's not like Truman Show where they have the dome and everything, and then under the dome, I mean, it's showing kind of more physically what it is. Severance is showing more mentally what it is, but even then, you can see like the physical physical map of the construct through Severance. So yeah. Severance is very allegorical in terms of the maze. The maze is mentioned a lot in Westworld, a maze of the mind. Yeah, the maze is the mind, the labyrinth. The lab comes from the brain. Laboratory is the brain. So we were created in a lab. We're created in the brain. And so the maze, the labyrinth is your experience through the brain, through your own mind. Lost was a purgatory story you can't understand unless you stay to the end. Okay. See, yeah, like I feel like it was probably misunderstood because if you know the esoteric meaning, it's got to be embedded in the end. And that's why a lot of people probably hated it. But for the purposes of the show, which is to reveal the construct, then it probably makes sense. I won't know unless I watch it. I tried. I might try again. I don't know. Is it worth it for all the time I need to consume all that TV show? But we'll see. Like it just hasn't gripped me. But yeah, like from my perspective, I really like Manifest in showing a very similar kind of structured story. Somebody mentioned Island, and if it was the one that I remember, which has Bradley Cooper and Scarlett Johansson in it, they get cast to an island and then they try to break free and escape. And yeah, it was a very simple story, but it was very much based off of the construct. Contact was another one that was interesting. I'm not sure if it actually, I wouldn't say that it really shows a construct though. But I would say too, like one film that I really think is beneficial in terms of time, Back to the Future. I guess it depends on how you look at it. It shows the construct in a very different kind of way, but because you have to travel back in time to go to the future. So in order to change the future, you have to change past type of story, but it also shows the construct in terms of how the story is laid out and how it's mapped out. So same with like, I want to say Arrival, which is kind of similar to Groundhog Day in the time travel aspect. Groundhog Day was more about the loop, whereas Back to the Future is going back in time and changing things in the past to change the future. Arrival shows that all time is now and allows you to see the multidimensional nature of reality through the use of symbols and language. Lucy, yeah, Lucy's another one. Mr. Nobody is my all favorite esoteric movies. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's a hard one to watch, though. It's like what, 3 hours long? I didn't know what I was watching at the time. Somebody sat me down to watch it, and it was intense. I didn't quite understand it when I was watching it. I didn't really have the patience for it either. But towards the end, I thought it was interesting. I would rewatch it. I just don't know if I want to because I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like it, just was kind of a little bit too depressing. I mean, it's a beautiful film, you know. I can appreciate that it's a beautiful film. It's really well made. I just found it depressing. Dathramar, I saw Lost as good versus evil demonstration. Jacob was good. The smoke monster was bad. They would manipulate the people on the island to do either good or bad, showing how good and evil can only manifest through us as humans. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm like that with Vanilla Sky. That movie's very depressing. Yeah, I love Vanilla Sky. I loved it when I saw it, but it was depressing, and I can't bring myself to watch it again. Like, I'll look at clips and stuff, but the ending makes me cry every single time, and so I like, it's so depressing. I don't I don't wanna watch it again. I recently included a clip of it in a video I made, and, it's a very important movie, and it does reveal the construct, but it's a very depressing movie and, very sad. So, I don't know that I wanna watch it again. Yeah. Speaking of Tom Cruise, though, yeah, like, he's in a lot of films that I feel sort of touch upon aspects of the construct, like Minority Report, but I think Vanilla Sky was incredibly, straightforward about the dream that he's in and how it operates. So we got 32% Westworld, 58% Truman Show, and 11% Inception. So most people like Truman Show. Yeah, it's interesting. See, the thing with the Truman Show is it's very straightforward, showing like the world stage basically. It is a sound stage, it's a world stage, and everybody there is to serve Truman, and everybody's watching Truman on the outside. So, it's it's a very simplistic, beautiful, um self-contained depiction of the construct and this reality, plus the man in the moon. So it's incorporating the stars. The movie starts out with Sirius dropping from the sky, being a spotlight. So, yeah, Tom Cruise often has his mask face distorted. Hey, that's a good point. You're right. It's like Mission Impossible. He's wearing a mask in Vanilla Sky. His face is distorted. I said Westworld because I'm always learning something new from the show I didn't pick up on. Yeah, like Westworld's layered. Westworld has a lot of layers, which is similar to Don't Worry, Darling. Stranger Than Fiction. Oh, I love that show. I love that. It shows like the reality being written and happening and unfolding as a result of it being written, and he's got somebody else outside of him writing his story. Some I thought same, I thought we were talking about the TV show Westworld, or else I would have picked the Truman Show. Oh, either way, TV show, movie, doesn't matter. It's basically the story of Westworld, but I mean, they're both the same sort of thing, the movie, the TV show. But yeah, like, to me, like, for me, I love all of them. They're great movies. All of them are really powerful movies, and um or the TV show Westworld. They're all very powerful in depicting the construct. Any final votes on your construct, the TV show? I think like we've got some really good votes in here, like really good diversity of touching on things like not just the physical reality, but things like time travel or reincarnation or loops, time loops. They live with the TV broadcasting, being stuck in the TV with Pleasantville. um WandaVision is another one that's really powerful, showing the construct. Not only is it a TV show, but she's also under a dome, and it's frequency controlled, and she's the one doing it. So that WandaVision is really quite a powerful series for that. But yeah, there's a huge array of TV shows and movies that we have picked out that show the the physical construct as well as this sort of metaphysical construct, the good versus evil redemption arc, um, the true nature of reality, the layers, that it's not just about the physical construct. There's layers under here. There's the metaphysical layers. Legion is good. It's like WandaVision. It's also a Marvel show. Oh, okay. The Adjustment Bureau. Yeah, that one's a really good one. Hey, Zop. I recommend joining truelove.com. Membership includes many amazing movie decodes. Thanks, Zop. I recommend it too. While we're on the subject, I am going through the process of upgrading everything. It is moving to a new system, and it's scheduled to launch August. So if you want more information on that, go to my website and subscribe to the updates on the news tab, and you'll get all the updates about the new system and be notified about it when it comes out. So this is going to be more about transformation, hands-on. It's not just content delivery. So it's going to be hugely impactful and full. It's like a labyrinth structure. So it's going to be a million times better than what it was before. And what it was before was fantastic. So I highly encourage you to sign up for updates for that. If this subject matter, if this channel interests you, and and you meet people like Zop and Joyful, and we talk about stuff like this in a deep, deep level and apply it to your life, which is the most important part. Have you watched Agatha all along? No, I heard it was awful. I didn't want to subject myself. Have you seen it? Have you seen Agatha all along? Unfortunately, like I decoded WandaVision, like all the episodes of WandaVision, and I found it incredibly rewarding because there's a lot in there, and it's very obvious depiction of the construct, and I really enjoyed what I found in that show. And what I really loved, like how they showed the energetic barrier between worlds, east versus west, the people on the outside. I guess you could say they were also like Men in Black on the outside, like the FBI agents and everything, trying to bring it down, trying to get rid of it. And Wanda, like this creation of hers, having to confront her evil side in Agatha all along. It was a really fascinating story to decode. It's a really good show. It's a really powerful show. Aubrey Plaza is in it, and she's also in Legion. Those three shows are definitely connected. Agatha is the worst of the three shows, though. Well, that's too bad. I'll take a look at Legion, and maybe I'll watch the first episode of Agatha, but it has an excellent sales pitch behind it. It was like, let's watch Agatha. It's one of the worst shows. I feel like we're missing something really obvious, but I don't know. There's so many out there. You can't possibly list them all, but yeah. Like I said, I recently watched Under the Dome, but there was something else I watched. I think Life on Mars is another one that really depicts the nature of this reality. Maybe not so much the physical construct, but the interplay between worlds and the like how he came to be in that world, that he's dreaming it, that it's inside his head, and he goes back and forth between worlds. I think that's a really powerful one. Annihilation 2018. I have not heard of that. What's that about? What about Stranger Things? I mean, that's really dark, but it has the upside down. And well, this is another thing. Like, I just been watching La Brea, which is also about parallel universes, the world's upside down, um, traveling between worlds, time travel, and the Dark Tower was another one that was very similar, showing the tower and the parallel universes and traveling between worlds. That was very similar to La Brea. And then we're watching The Leftovers, which is a very similar kind of theme structure. So time travel is very important in this reality. The dome, the frequency, the isolation, the construct of being in a separate reality, more than one world, parallel universes, and there being a world outside of this world that's a real world, it being mental, and uh, the island, eyes, robots, NPCs, fake reality, video game, TV, movie, inside of a screen. There's a lot of stuff here. Stranger Things always brings up D&D, and D&D is a very esoteric game. It is indeed. It is indeed. And even that movie, Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot in that too. Well, because I guess dragon's the serpent, and the dungeon is like a prison cell. German TV show called Dark, yeah. That one's got, I think that one has time travel in it. I haven't seen much of it. I think I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons movie was pretty funny. One with Chris Pine. Inside, the laws of nature break down. Inside. Natalie Portman is a biologist who joins an all-female expedition into an environmental phenomenon called the shimmer, and inside, the laws of nature break down. Annihilation. I feel like I've seen that. I remember the shimmer, and I remember Natalie Portman. Maybe I just remember the trailer for it. I'll have to take a look at it again. The D&D, the game manuals are weird. They speak more like a here's how the world works guide. Well, isn't that interesting? My sister is getting into Dungeons and Dragons, and so I bought her a gift. I bought her a gift that had puzzles and stuff in it, and I thought, oh, this looks interesting. And I flipped to a random page, and it had like runes and stuff in it, and I thought, this might just wake her up. Okay, this is good. The shimmer is a literal and symbolic force that transforms and deconstructs identity, mirroring our inner self-sabotage tendencies. Wow, okay. Deconstructs identity, mirroring our inner self-sabotage tendencies. That sounds deep. School Spirits. Hello, Abracadabra. School Spirits is a show where a bunch of ghost kids stuck in a school, they loop over their trauma and are seeking to escape. There are red and green exits. Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool. I've never heard of that, School Spirits. That reminds me of the School of Good and Evil. I decoded that not long ago, a few years ago. The School of Good and Evil is a very good depiction of that. I mean, obviously, Wizard of Oz is another one. But yeah, the School of Good and Evil, like they have the twin pillars, the 2 towers. One side's good, one side's evil. And another one is the Gorge. The Gorge has the 2 towers over on either side of the gorge. One's manned by a female, one's manned by a man. So yeah, there's quite a lot here. Okay. Well, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for participating. Um, we had a lot of votes. Oh, we have one vote on Don't Worry, Darling. Thank you very much. We have 29% on Westworld, 52% on The Truman Show, and 14% on Inception. So I really appreciate that last minute vote on Don't Worry, Darling. Thank you very much for joining today. I hope to see you next week, and go watch some esoteric movies and come right back. All right. Bye, everybody.